Hello, my name is Clayton, and welcome to episode 134 of the Watch Dog podcast. I'm a professional dog runner and watch enthusiast talking to his pals about dogs and watches. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for listening. You know, I appreciate it. Well, sorry for the day delay or so in dropping this episode. I have been digging out of the blizzard of 26. Oh, man. Many of you who live in the Midwest, I know I am from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and I have friends there, of course, family there, friends in Wisconsin, Minnesota. You are laughing at us over here, but the struggle is real. We got 3 feet of snow. I may not be working this entire week. Several streets in Providence are not plowed yet. I just can't get to my clients. The farm that I take the dogs to, the dogs would get lost in the 3 feet of snow that's out there, and that's also not plowed either. So, just been digging out of my driveway. I honestly hope that everybody affected by the storm is safe. It's a great time to just hunker down. Hunker down, man. Kind of what I've been doing. I did go out on Monday while we were having the storm. I snowblowed 4 times. You have to stay ahead of it, or else it really becomes tough to deal with, even tougher to deal with, really. So I went out in the morning. It was also very windy. So, you kind of have to be smart about which direction you're snowblowing. Otherwise, you get it right back in the face. But I blew it all one way. Plows weren't coming, and then they finally did, and I was able to do that. My wife actually had to work. Her commute is about 45 minutes to an hour on a good day. So she actually went up there Sunday night and stayed at a hotel and then worked Monday, and she did drive back Monday evening, and the highways were clear anyway. But yeah, many of us still struggling with, side streets that aren't plowed. I'm just chatting with my friend right now over text message Wednesday morning. And he's saying his street right by a major hospital in Providence, by the way, is still not plowed. So I know these people are doing the absolute best they can, but it's wild. I finally don't have to hear about the mythical blizzard of 78 around here anymore. The blizzard of 26 beat it by about a foot. Of course, the old timers will still say blizzard of 78 was worse. My neighbor, who's younger than me, is a blizzard of 78 truther. Thinks it was all AI nonsense. He's kidding, of course, but it's still kind of funny. But anyway, yes, hope you are safe if you were in the path of the blizzard of 26. All right, I am very excited for our episode today. You saw the title, my good friend Sanjay, Engineer Wannabe. Now, we did say this is his 19th appearance. I did not know at the time that I was going to be splitting this up into 2 parts. My audio enhancer would not accept the whole file. It's too large. So, for that reason, I had to split it into 2 episodes. We're going to start with the shorter version first, just kind of catch up with Sanjay and see what he's been doing. And then next week, we'll get into the new watches that we both bought. So, sit back, relax, an old friend, his 19th and 20th now, I guess, appearance on the Watchdog podcast. Sanjay, Engineer Wannabe, what a treat. Here you go. I'll see you on the other side of the interview. Well, after my episode with Bobby last week, I decided to count who's been on the podcast the most times. And it indeed was Sanjay at 18. Well, make that 19. His long-awaited return to the podcast, my friend, Engineer Wannabe, Sanjay. Oh boy, what a treat to have you back, sir. How are you?
Good. I still can't believe it's been 19. That's or 18 and now 19. That sounds like a really large.
We got on quite a roll in the summer of 21. It was our summer, the magical summer of 21. Yeah, you came on a bunch. My grandmother passed away, and you were a good friend. We were just starting to get to know each other and stuff, and you said, well, if you need anything, let me know. And I said, it would actually kind of cheer me up to do a podcast with you. So we did our Grand Seiko brand spotlight episode. And then we went on a run of doing several episodes that summer. And then intermittently, of course, in the coming years. So, 19. Now, it was a very rushed count. So I think that's right, but we'll go with it.
Yeah. That sounds good. I'll take the win. And who's the runner up?
Keith. Now Keith is at 10. And then I
That
then
would
I
be Keith.
think like Bobby and Pete McConville are tied for third at 4. There might be some other people sprinkled in. My apologies if I'm forgetting names. But yeah, been lucky to have just wonderful guests, and of course, you, of course. So
Yeah, no, those guys are far more important and better suited for the job than I am.
oh, stop. All right, so you have many fans. You are often requested. Still, I get messages on Instagram. Get Sanjay back on. Every time we do Watch Soup, almost every time somebody says, "Where's Sanjay? Get him back on." So, yes, you have stepped away a little bit, which is awesome. You have a lot going on. So, what have you been up to in the last couple of years, I guess?
Oh, yeah, it's been a long time. Um, I've been mostly working, and yeah, just trying to keep my head above water with all the new information. I think there was a point where I just kind of figured uh, I can't keep maintaining a YouTube channel. But at the same time, I always struggled with not being able to put it down. Like it was always there as I will get back to it. But yeah, it was a little overwhelming in terms of work. Not in a bad way, I wouldn't say. I mean, you could argue that it was in a bad way, but I still really enjoyed the work I was doing. So being working with engineering stuff, so to speak, which I hadn't done in school really, and getting back to that was super overwhelming. And I realized how little of my brain I was actually using before, which is why I was able to just coast and do so many different things at once. But once I was at my, I think I'm pretty much at my upper limit of intelligence. Um, so I'm using like almost all of my capacity. It's just been very draining. So I always wanted to come back, but it just kept being like at some point in the future. But then yeah, it doesn't really excuse me not really um messaging anyone or just completely going off uh into the sunset without letting anyone know kind of thing. um I don't know, I struggle with that, and I've been trying to like slowly as I'm like getting used to stuff. I've been trying to reconnect more with people more individually, like a lot of the people that I used to spend time with. But there were so many people, and I still remember a lot of the people that I haven't been able to chat with, and I still haven't been able to contact. And there's so many different things that have happened. It's just crazy. Like in the watch world and people like groups are just disappeared from Discord. Just I don't know what's happened. So I've lost contact with a lot of people. So if anyone hears this, say hi, and I'll be able to say hi back.
Yeah, a lot has changed. I'm
Yeah.
not even on a Discord group anymore. I just realized it wasn't exactly I don't know if it wasn't a healthy place for me, but yeah, there's a lot of temptation. There were just other reasons. So yeah, I think I haven't been on since like November of 24, and I like you now just connect more individually. I'm on the Grey NATO
Yeah.
Slack group, but I'm not like really personally connected with it. I just sort of lurk in there and comment once in a while. And I like that. It's more anonymous because there's like thousands
Mm.
of people in there. And it's actually like very well run. There's very little issues. If there is like a personality conflict or something like that, it gets nipped in the bud really fast, which I like. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm still, one on one. I still talk to a lot of my longtime friends in the hobby. It's just, I'm not really in the group setting anymore, which I think is the way I need to go forward for my mental health.
Yeah. 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 I mean I miss the groups. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, I wasn't really a participant. It's hard to participate now because especially my kids are getting older too. Um, so they want more of my attention, like not like baby attention, but more adult attention, as in like a friend to friend attention. So that takes a lot of the ability to interact in groups. Like we used to just sit and talk for like hours.
Right.
But we can't. Like there's literally no slot in the day that would accommodate that anymore, which is crazy to think. Also, the crazy shift in hours, like where I used to work, and it's like I'm on a different time zone now, and kids have been trying to shift towards my time zone, so they wake up earlier too. Um, and yeah, so when I get home, we have just a couple of hours, and then they get to bed, and then I'm zonked. I feel like that was what it was like before, but I don't know. I don't know. It's been weird, but I'm getting back to it.
Well, I think now as your kids get older too, being in a watch group requires what? A lot of screen time, right? You're on your phone a lot or you're on your computer a lot. And I think now your kids are at an age where they can see that and they can see that you're not getting their attention or they're not getting your attention. And they'll say, Dad, put your phone down.
Right.
I mean, I do that with my wife and I. Sometimes I'm telling her a story and I could say, oh, I saw a brontosaurus yesterday. And she would, oh, okay, that's nice, dear. Cause she's not paying attention, right? She's on her phone. So, and I do the same thing and she calls me out on it as well. So I think that's probably a tricky part. I don't have children, but I imagine they pick up on stuff like that and they can see when you're not paying attention to what they're saying. And yeah, being in a watch group obviously requires being on your phone a lot. Most of us do it from the phone. So yeah, it just
Mhm.
the whole dynamic changes, I imagine, as your kids get older.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I have been subconscious about that. So like with the kids, keeping my phone away from me, it's actually in the complete other room when it's time to be with my kids. So yeah, so subconsciously I have been kind of correcting for that. But yeah, that is funny about the brontosaurus thing.
Yeah,
I
I
did
could
that
say anything.
in
Yeah, and
my
she'd be like, "Oh yeah, uh-huh, uh-huh."
yeah.
Bobby and I covered an interesting video on Watch Soup a while back, and it wasn't really watch related, but I stumbled upon it and I thought it was important that with our phones, now we are just afraid to be bored. Like if you're at a stoplight, I'll say when I'm at a stoplight and I have a spare 15 seconds, like I don't know if I'm subconsciously like afraid of my thoughts or whatever it is, but I don't even want to be bored for that 15 seconds. So I'll grab my phone and just see what's going on instead of just like thinking about something. And we do it without even realizing. So now I've been conscious of like, it's okay to be bored once in a while and not grab my phone. Maybe if I'm going for a walk with my dog, like gasp, don't bring the phone. I know maybe there's safety concerns. If I fall and break my leg, then I'd be like, damn, I should have brought my phone. But um, yeah, I think we're afraid to I don't know, not have that binky of the phone to distract us. And maybe we're afraid of what we might think about if we don't have that. It's weird. The whole phone thing, I'm on it a lot and I know I'm on it a lot, but I still do it. Hopefully one of these days I
Hmm.
can reduce screen time.
That's so interesting. That's a very philosophical part of the world you were getting to.
Yeah, it was a great video and it was like, wow, yeah, you're right. You know, if I go for a walk with my dog, like I need the phone. But do I? I feel like I do, but I don't really, but I still take it and I might miss a message. God forbid I miss a message. I can't, I can get back to them in 15, 20 minutes, whatever, no problem. But there's something in my brain that just, I need that. Dopamine, I don't know what it is. But yeah, I think many of us are in the same boat with the phone. So it's really healthy that you're keeping it away, when you're spending time with your kids. No, they'll come to appreciate that, I think, your undivided attention.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. Or, you're you're mentioning breaking your leg and you need your phone. Maybe you break your leg because you're looking at your phone
That's
while walking
right.
your dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
I drive
Yeah.
around town all the time picking up dogs, and I have seen now, driving and texting is a big deal. Texting and walking is a big deal. I've seen people crash into tree branches, walk right into traffic because they're walking. They're zombies. They're walking and looking at their phone. So yeah, that's
Really?
equally as dangerous. I have not seen any biking and texting. I think that'd be hard, but it's probably coming
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah. Well, with the Meta glasses,
Oh
you'd be able
yeah.
to
Do you have
type in
those?
text. No, no, not for me.
I flirted with it, but I don't know. Now I'm connected enough.
Yeah.
I've actually gone backwards. I don't wear my Garmin every day anymore. I used to double wrist with it forever with an automatic watch, and now I do the Aura Ring, and I am way less
Mm.
obsessed with my health stats. I check in on them, but maybe once every few days versus having that immediacy of looking at my watch and seeing my daily steps and how much I slept and all that. So the Aura Ring, I think, has been healthy for me in that respect. So a little less obsessed with those statistics.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So,
Huh. And I need to apologize about not keeping up with the podcast as
oh
well.
gosh, you don't ever have to apologize about that.
No, I I just feel bad. It's um, but yeah,
I think your
I'm
true
sorry.
friends understand. You just had a lot going on. It's not like I know if I send you a text out of the blue, you'll get back to me. It may not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but I know you'll get back to me when you have a chance. And just checking in to say hello or something like that. It's not like you completely ghosted anybody. You'll get back to them. But yeah, sometimes we
Right.
just have to take care of our family and your job. You like you said, you are no longer a wannabe. You're an engineer now, so you have to take that seriously. So that's amazing. I get that. I think you're real friends. If anybody has a problem with that, then they're the problem, not you.
Right. No, it's more just I no one's ever like confronted me about it or anything. It's just more of guilt, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I get it.
Just
I get it.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's on your wrist, sir?
Oh, well, we're going to get into that. Our whole episode is kind of our wrist checks, I think. We both bought new watches. I think that'll be the title of the podcast. Sanjay and I bought
Yeah.
new watches right around the same time, same day, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Except
Yeah.
yours was in person. Mine, I had to wait for a few days. But so you had kind of hinted before we get into that, you had kind of hinted that, since you've been away a little bit, you haven't really been even paying attention to watches. I know I mentioned some videos that You're Terrific did, your favorite guy.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah.
said you were barely aware of the UFA, let alone the video he did on the Gerard Perigo 50. So, yeah, how in tune were you with what was going on with watches on your sabbatical?
Oh, zero. Like
Wow.
I was completely yeah, I was completely out of the loop. I was usually the only way I'd find out about something is through a stray GS9 email, like GS9 Club.
Yeah.
Or I get a email and usually I don't even check those, but there was that one about the UFA. And I was like, oh, well, this looks kind of interesting. So I clicked on it, and that's the only reason why why I would have. I think it was a GS9 Club email, or maybe it was something someone else. But that was the only reason why I knew about the UFA. Um, because I was not checking any news blogs or definitely not YouTube videos. I was just completely out of the loop. And yeah, at work is pretty strict with phones and loitering or wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so and I want to honor that. So even at work, I'm not going like even if there's a downtime, I'm not going into my phone or I'm not going into like a website to check what's new. So because of that, yeah, I was in a complete coma. Like I went to a hospital bed. The only people I heard from were my family. And yeah, there was nothing. Nothing. I was shocked to see a turquoise blue Black Bay 54. That was ridiculous.
Which we
When
own.
did that happen?
I I
Who
actually
owned?
own that with my wife.
You do that? What?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. We co-bought it as our couple watch. She loved it. So the original story is she loves like that Tiffany blue color. You know, the Tiffany blue OP came up on topper, and I showed it to her. Now she was flying that day to see her mom, and she is not a good flyer, so she tends to, have a couple drinky winkies at the airport just to calm her nerves a little bit. So I sent it
Okay.
to her when she was at the airport, and I think she was a couple Bloody Marys in deep, and she said we should do it. I was like, what? They wanted like 20 grand for it. I was like, what? She's like, we could split it. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, well, you're inebriated, so I better take advantage of this while I can. And alas, it had sold in that time. I went to buy it and it was already gone. So then a couple weeks later, this BB-54 Lagoon Blue came out. She said, yeah, I really like that. She's not usually a dive bezel person, but yeah, she really likes it. And yeah, we bought it. I had her on the podcast talking about it. So if you get time, go back and listen to that one.
That sounds like an interesting episode.
Yeah, it was pretty good actually. We naturally just kind of make fun of each other and have a lot to talk about. So yeah, what was really helpful is she gave thoughtful answers instead of like yes, no. So it made the podcast flow because she had a lot to say about everything I asked her. So that really helps. I didn't have to like pull anything out of her, even though she was not 100% into being on the podcast. She was a good sport and she nailed it.
Right. I'm sure it's easy to talk to your husband too, rather than complete strange.
Yeah. Well, you never know how someone's going to be when they don't really want to do something that they've never done before. And, it's not like just having a normal conversation on the couch. There's microphones and headphones and everything. But now she was a natural.
Yeah. Oh, when was this watch released? Is this a 2025 thing?
Yeah, in the summer.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, it's part of their daring family of watches with those like pink and blue chronographs. And then I think there's like a racing F1 blue dial ceramic Black Bay in there as well. But yeah, it's part of their daring family. So yeah, it's pretty daring watch for Tudor for sure. It's definitely a little more feminine than I would normally wear, but I've been, now I've been trying to get it in a little more. I did an episode a few weeks ago about how we never really reach for it, but I've been consciously trying to wear it now. It's nice. Yeah, it's nice.
And it's not just turquoise, right? It's got like this speckling, or is it it's got a texture to it, right?
Yeah, it's like a granular texture. It's very Grand Seiko-y. I don't think Tudor's really ever done anything like that before that I can think of.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Now that was really cool.
I'm not sure if you love it, but it's interesting.
No, I do like it. I probably wouldn't buy it, but I do really like that Tudor did that. I thought it was like when Watches and Wonders comes around, everyone tries to guess what they're gonna do.
Right.
Predictions. There you go. Watches and Wonders predictions 2026. And I thought it was maybe like someone's mock-up of a watch. Yeah, it was so outlandish.
Yeah.
What a good fake picture, I wish Tudor would do something like that.
Yeah, it definitely is out of the norm because I mean the original BB-54 is just, looks like a traditional, Submariner look-alike, really. So yeah, for this one to come out, it's just totally wild for Tudor.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, that must have been jarring to wake up. It's like I don't know if you've ever seen the Walking Dead or 28 Days Later, but these people wake up out of coma and they're in the zombie apocalypse. That's what it must have been for you to get back in.
Yeah, it kind of was, or like someone who's been trapped in an island, not knowing the war is over.
Right.
But yeah, it was weird. Or just getting out and seeing someone use a cell phone for the first time.
Yeah.
It was really bizarre. And a couple other things. My memory's failing me. But there were a few things where I went thinking, where did that come from? Or catching up with people and seeing their collections again. Seeing a new watch on their wrist and thinking, when did this happen? Like, God, that's so cool. And, 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 Well, Grand Seiko did something. Manually wound 38 mil watch. SLGA? No, SLGW. SLGW 015, I want to say. Or 005. Anyway,
I'll
it
trust you
was
because you're the reference number master.
yeah, it was this beautiful manually wound Grand Seiko that had a beautifully decorated movement. I'm sure you've seen. And it's got like that birch dial, tree bark dial,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, white, like silvery white. It was, I don't know when that came out, but that was magnificent. Uh, but yeah, I did get to try that one on though, and even though it's 38 mil, it was still too big.
Hmm.
Um, for my wrist, it wore really wide and long. Maybe it was just the shape of the lugs, but I wouldn't be able to pull it off. It wore like a 40 mil, I would say,
Interesting.
to me at least.
Huh.
Yeah, beautiful watch though. Um, yeah, so it was like waking up from a coma. Uh, seen some really wild. I can't say that I've seen everything yet. I'm sure like 2 years worth of watch news. I'm going to look every few minutes. I'm going to find something that I haven't seen before, and I'm still kind of relearning stuff. Um, from whether it's Grand Seiko or Omega did new Rail Masters. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew
Did you
that. I know. I'm trying to think if there were other things where I can blow your mind live on air right now, but I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, those
uh,
Rail Masters. And then I found people don't like those Rail Masters. Well, they're nice looking Rail Masters.
yeah, I'm trying to remember if I've seen that in person. I didn't try it on, but I think they were there the last time. Yeah, they're nice. I'm not sure if the Railmaster has ever been like one of my absolute favorite watches, but yeah, those are nice. They're nice watches.
Yeah, yeah. They're
Well,
they're pretty nice.
yeah,
The small seconds one I really like with the cappuccino dial, like the patina, fake patina, brownish,
yeah, yep,
milky white.
yep.
Oh, so good, so good looking. But I now that I think about it a little more, I can understand. Because it has the polished center links.
Right. I think that was
That's
confusing
very
because that's the more tool oriented watch. Like leave that for the Aquaterra, I think, and
right.
maybe put brushed links on the Railmaster. That makes sense to me. So it did seem kind of
Yeah,
confused. I think that what you're right. That was one of the main complaints about that watch.
yeah. And the other mind blowing thing was it was reasonably priced. Like
Yeah. Which
Omega has been not reasonable recently, at
oh,
least 2 years ago.
it's a major sticking point with the brand. A Sapphire Sandwich Speedmaster costs $9,000 US now. Um,
Oh,
when I bought my Hesselite, it was $5,600, and the Sapphire Sandwich was like 1,000 more, 6,600. So same watch has gone up,
right.
$2,400 in the span of a few years.
That would have been like the 1861, like the previous gen, right?
No, it was the introduction of the 3861. Time flies. That I bought that in at the end of. Did I buy that in 22 or 21? So yeah, it's been out a while. So that was right when the 3861 was introduced. So that's the one
Oh,
I had. Yeah. And that was
wow.
so it's the same watch, but it's gone up way up.
Right.
The No Time to Die. When I bought that, I think it was 9,200, and now that's like $11,000. Um, yeah,
What?
yeah, they're and it's reflected. I don't know if you've seen the latest Morgan Stanley report that just was released within the last day or two. They are now Omega is fifth on the list. AP and Patek leapfrogged them. And yeah, their revenue is way down compared to the last 2 years. So yeah,
Really?
they're being run really poorly. It's a shame. They're one of the great brands in
Really?
history, and they are just flailing right now. And the price increases don't help. Tudor also raised their prices. I think a Black Bay 58 is what did Keith say the other day, like $4,700 US now. So
Right.
yeah, everything's going
Yeah.
while you were asleep, everything went way up.
Yeah. Yeah. Wake me up next time, please.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I
Maybe I'll go
actually
to sleep for a while.
is I managed to get a steel and gold Black Bay 136. Black Bay. Wow. I don't like saying that. Um, just before the pricing. So like in December,
Yeah.
when I was getting back into watches, not back into watches, but uh, back into life again, or back into reality. Because I never left watches. Is while I was, while I was at work, I'd still, look at my watch, uh, gawk at it for a few seconds. uh, so I was still into the watches that I owned. I just wore what already existed on my wrist because I couldn't do anything else. But um, I managed to get that Black Bay 136 before like the crazy price hike, like this January, right? It went
Yeah.
up like
Yep.
$1,000 or something crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I was so grateful that I woke up in time to get that. Like the 36 steel and gold, because the steel and gold one just skyrocketed um to an unreasonable level. Even the non gold one is like an unreasonable ask now, I think.
They're not the value play they used to be, that's for sure.
Yeah. Because I remember it used to be like 3,000 Canadian to get a regular Black Bay 36. And it's like 6,000 now. It's doubled,
Right.
which is, I mean, there's been some changes. It now has that chronometer movement. It's no longer SW 200 or ETA 2861, 2892. What? I don't know the words anymore. 2824.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whatever it was.
yeah.
Well,
I
that
mean, it still
bracelet's
feels like
nice
an
too.
ETA.
The bracelet's really nice. That we have that bracelet on our Lagoon Blue BB54, that 5 link. That's really nice. I like it.
Yeah. 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 It is really nice. Yeah. That's true. But I don't know if it's 3 grand.
Right.
Nice. The whole other Black Ray 36
Yeah.
from back in the day.
I think
It's sad.
buying watches new is yeah, I don't know. It's getting increasingly more and more hard to swallow, I think. But the
Yeah.
warranty, maybe by the time you sell it, Keith and I talked about this because he's thinking of buying a Black Bay 58 brand new. And by the he keeps watches, he'll keep it for a long time, so I guess he doesn't mind paying retail. He'd rather buy it new for warranty, there's no scratches on it, all that. But also by the time he goes to sell it, he might be able to get the current retail price because there'll probably be $6,000 retail by that time. So it's bonkers what's happening.
Yeah. Although, like, it can be sustainable, right? Like, I mean, yeah, if you think like when I went to sleep 2 years ago, um, what would an Omega Speedmaster was? I want to say 10 grand Canadian. I want to say.
Yeah,
So, like, what was that, 7,000 US?
it was about that.
And
Yeah.
yeah. So if it's it's not sustainable, that's like $1,000 a year.
Yep.
So in 5 years, it'd be $18,000, which is that's not sustainable, right?
That might be the average, but it's actually been over the last, like, I feel like it's been over the last year and a half that they've gone
Oh yeah,
crazy like this. Yeah. Multiple the tariff situation,
right.
Omega's gone up. I mean, they're not the only brand. JLC has raised prices a tremendous amount. But yeah, Tudors was pretty high. Yeah, we got in on the Lagoon Blue. I think 4,300. I think that retailed for. And my wife and I split it, so
Okay.
I get to wear that BB54 for like $2,200, which is nice. We split
Yeah.
the cost. But anyway, yeah, that went up now. That's 4,800, whatever it is. So, yeah, it's Omega especially. I've talked about this before. The Speedmaster was, so many kids grew up watching the moon landing and being infatuated with space, and the Speedmaster was the one watch, and it was attainable for people. Now it's like, if you had, if you could save 6,000, or if you wanted the Hesselite, $5,500 or so, like, that's achievable. You'd save a little bit more. But now add another few thousand to that, like it's a little harder to swallow for the average person who is not
Right.
used to spending that kind of money on watches like we are. We're a little desensitized to it, but I don't know. It's just one of those watches that I don't think should be that expensive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I agree. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds.
and you're seeing
It's
that with the Morgan Stanley report, the the ultra wealthy are always going to be able to afford things no matter what the economy's doing. So those brands, the Rolexes, the Cartier is a little bit of an outlier, but AP, Patek, Richard Mille, all those brands are doing great because the rich just keep spending. It's the mid-tier brands that are struggling a little bit more. The Omega, who tried to
yeah.
keep up with Rolex but just can't. Longines struggling, Tissot struggling, all those kind of brands, even though they're still in the top 10, and Longines is almost $1 billion company. They're down from where they were, and they're probably going to keep going down. So yeah, it's troublesome.
So Tissot is struggling too. That's interesting.
Well, comparatively, I think if you look at like 2017, Longines and Tissot were in the top 5, and now like Tissot is 10th. They're just getting past, and I think it's a downward trend overall. Maybe people are trending towards smartwatches, and as the prices keep going up, like I said, the premiumization of watches from those bigger brands takes over, and yeah, so I don't know.
So Rolex would be number 1 then?
Yeah, I think they were around 11 billion Swiss francs in turnover, and the next 4 or 5 brands combined don't even match what Rolex makes alone. So, yeah, they're like 60% of all Swiss watches sold are Rolex.
Wow. Oh, speaking of Rolex, the new Rolex, the Land Dweller. So can you tell me a bit about that? Do you know much about it?
Not really. It's basically, a whole new like movement, which, I think Rolex innovated, which they get, kind of ragged on for not doing very much. It's very reminiscent of the oyster quartz case, different bracelet, but it looks very oyster quartzy. So many people felt like they were a little late to the whole integrated bracelet trend, but Rolex are slow adopters. I mean, they just started, dabbling in titanium a few years ago, so way late to that party. But yeah, so I think I'm sure it's very impressive in the metal for sure, but doesn't do much for me, except I do love that case design. I'm not sure I love the honeycomb dial, and it looks just kind of a confused watch, really, but I'm sure it's beautiful to see in person. But yeah, it's basically the oyster quartz case, and many people said it was a PRX ripoff, but no, they did. They did go back in their own catalog, I think, and model it after the oyster quartz anyway.
Yeah, and so like the metal, is it steel or is it only precious metal?
Both. Yep, there's steel. There's a steel version, and then I think there's a platinum version. Is there a white gold version too? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I know there's a platinum one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is the Tudor Royale. The Tudor Royale is hard to find now, isn't it? Like
I don't know.
My AD didn't have any Tudor Royale. And it used to be always in the case. So it's just one sample size. So maybe it's just me, but I noticed that Tudor Royale was hard to find. And I was kind of tying it back when I found out about the Land Dweller. I was like, hey, look, is there a correlation here? Or the Land Dweller, so they got the Tudor Royale?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. People, you were ahead of your time with that one.
Yeah.
You were an early adopter of that watch. Everybody made fun of you for loving it, and now can't find one. You were a trendsetter. We'll call that the Sanjay, the Tudor Sanjay. I like it.
Please don't.
Now, is that a watch you would rebuy if you did see one at your dealer?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, there's so many like getting back into watches, getting back into like this world. Um, I feel like I've having a YouTube channel made me get rid of watches that I didn't really want to get rid of, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of working through looking back, like and doing this slowly this time. I want to maybe buy back some of the ones that I used to have that I probably shouldn't have. I like the first thing that comes to mind is the Alpinist recreation, the SAE 083, I want to say, or 085.
Was that the one on the
Um,
bun strap?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a watch I should have just kept, and I can still buy back at a reasonable price, but I don't know for sure if that's just nostalgia or um if I really want it back. So I'm kind of working through what I want to get back. I've kind of purged my collection right now, and I'm kind of building up a more stable collection. I feel like I've said that before, but I think things are a bit more different now. But yeah, I've only said that a few hundred times.
Yeah, we've all said that. And then
Yeah.
the problem is you and I have people have receipts on it because we've said it on podcasts and YouTube channels. So people can go back and, well, in episode whatever, you said this and then you did the complete opposite 3 episodes later. Like, yes, I did. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
uh,
and happened many a time. We are fickle creatures.
well, yeah, I guess we should probably go into our new watches. But yeah, so where is your collection at now before we get into your brand new Grand Seiko UFA? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I'm such a tease. Oh, man. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait another week to hear what Sanjay has to say about his new watch and what I have to say about my new watch. You've heard me talk a little bit about it, but yeah, we get into all of that next week. It was so great to hear from Sanjay. We love him. You know what? There's a reason he's been on the podcast 19 times. He's such a good friend and a great guy. And yeah, so hopefully that gives you your Sanjay fix for a week. You'll get another dose next week. Love to hear your thoughts. You can send me a message on Instagram. This podcast gets released as a YouTube video. You can leave a comment there. As I always say, you can text the podcast. I am not being rude, but I can't text you back. Again, stay safe. If you're digging out of this snowstorm, it's very heavy stuff now. It's getting a little warmer. So yeah, just be careful out there. And remember, sometimes you're the dog. Sometimes you're the hydrant if it's not buried under snow. But hey, at least you're outside. We'll catch you on the next episode, part 2 of the Sanjay episode next week. See you later.